call me old man Wade.
Damn you, old man!
Wait.
Old ass man.
Shut up, old man. You smell like fart.
No, man!
Old man.
He's so old, he got a podcast on cassette.
Fuck, you're old.
Damn it, Wade.
And welcome to the Old Man Wade Show. I am your host, the God of Stub and the Lord of Laughter, Old Man Wade. And I feel sorry for everyone who missed the last 30 minutes of content that I didn't record. But directly in front of me, we have the coast, the kick push coast, Supa Woke Javi.
What up, old man?
To my right, we got a reoccurring guest, my brother in arms, Fletch.
Scream for me.
And to my left, oh, no, you're on my right. I don't know why I said left. And to my left, we have a man who, if you test him and you try to take his name, he will run a sword through you and absorb your energy. You call him what you want. I call him Duke the Great.
That's right, the man of the hour, the man with the power too sweet to be sour. Duke from the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast. That's right.
You didn't tell me you had a damn Highlander here.
He's a damn Highlander. Your name ain't Duke, so you're good. You ain't got to worry about any of that nonsense.
Do I have to watch my neck? Is my head gonna get cut off?
No, your name's not Duke, so you're good, man.
Okay,
Good. So you're going to have to listen, man.
But there can only be one Duke.
Yeah, you're going to have to listen to the conversations of what I'm saying, because there's going to be a declared winner at the end of this.
Really? What do we win?
You'll find out at the end of the show. So we'll have someone who will be declared the winner, and the winner gets something at the end of the show.
Oh, same.
So I'm going to...
Is it a jackal?
I'm going to do my best to play moderator and not speak on topics. No one believes I can do it. Fletcher just gave me a look. So
I was enjoying this lovely Lord Hobo Brewing Company boom sauce. Thank you very much. This is
Lord
very
Hobo
good.
Brewing, my favorite beer.
You know, they should sponsor you.
I wish. So I'm going to start off with the silly topic right off the bat. So Duke, you are the... I'll call you... You're a reoccurring guest. So I got a question for you. What is wrong with Monday Night Raw?
Absolutely nothing. That's the short answer to your question. How can we find fault with something that just got sold, the airing rights, for what, $1.2 billion? With a B, $1 billion, right?
Wow. Yes.
We're talking about a company that sold another show for $1.3 billion, SmackDown. A company that has a deal with Saudi Arabia that's upwards of $600 million. They are so far ahead financially that if they never turn a profit for the next 10 years, they can still operate at the level they're operating right now. So to answer your question, there's nothing wrong with Raw. There's nothing wrong with the WWE. There's something wrong with the archaic thoughts of a fan base that assumes they understand how the public consumes a product in 2018. Okay? Viewing television programs on cable while it airs live is not what people are doing today. So you got to take a look at these other things. For instance, what is the WWE website doing as far as selling merchandise during Raw? What's their social media score? What's the crowd interaction on social media when their stuff is airing? How about their YouTube channel? The replays. Let's take a look at the DVD content. People are going back later on to watch, right? Let's take a look at the on-demand content. I have Xfinity through Comcast, right? Raw and SmackDown are on demand. So I can watch it on Wednesday, Thursday at 2 in the morning if I want to. I don't have to watch it live anymore. I can go online and interact with my friends while it's on and catch up and see what's going on. So the public consumption of the product is different. But the money is greater than it's ever been before. And there's a reason for that. So there's nothing wrong with Raw.
There you go. I'll be writing down points for that. All right. So,
this is how this works?
this is how I'm doing. Don't question how I'm doing my show. Don't question Bruce Dickinson, okay?
I just want the audience to know that Supa Woke was not prepared at all for this.
Super Woke. If old man wants more cowbell, I say you just give him more cowbell.
Old man's like, hey, come to the show. Let's have a conversation. So and now there's points and...
Supa Woke is
sounds like we got set up.
Creating what we call a backdoor. The reason why he's not going to win today is because of whatever you just said.
Oh, I want to win.
All right, then act like you want to win.
I just want to know what the prize is first.
I can't tell you the prize, man.
All
right. So next question is to you.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the best rapper of 2018?
2018.
Yes. Who's the best
rapper?
You can't answer.
I'm not going to answer. I just have a question to clarify your question. What do you mean by best? Like, what is your criteria for judging
who put out the best project this year?
Well, who brought out the best project?
What rapper put out the best product this year?
Ooh. And the thing is, I don't like this question. And the reason why I don't like this question, and this is going to make sense. Nowadays, there's this epidemic of every album that comes out that's decent is the best album of the year. Right? And I understand that because you hear something, especially the way we consume media, like Duke explained, it's, you know, eat all you want, anytime you want. So I have a lot of albums I haven't even listened to yet. Like I think like 11 albums came out last Friday. What? So anyways, the one I've been listening to now is the Meek Mill album, Champions. At the moment, I want to say that's the best album of the year. But that's only because I'm hyped up about it. Ask me that question in about a week. I don't need this point. I don't even want to answer this question.
All right. You know what? You get points for that, though. So,
Right, cool.
Lastly, Fletcher. Best action flick of all time.
Of all time?
All time.
Fuck, I'm biased as hell.
Explain your bias.
Aliens. Aliens it's a combination of a horror movie and an action film. It has because it's a sequel, there's a little bit of familiarity for the horror fans, but then if you have never seen an Alien movie, you can step right in and still enjoy it. Tons of gratuitous violence and shooting, but the story still made sense. You know, it's not like you have plenty of movies out here who it's just explosions, like, you know, Michael Bay film, and then the storyline is just stupid. Aliens made sense. If they were in that situation, yeah, that's how it would go. It's a near perfect movie.
There you go. All right. So right now in the lead is Duke. Not Duke. Sorry, Javi's in the lead right now. I'm not gonna tell you what the score is, but Javi, you're in the lead right now.
All right.
All right.
I'll take it.
So since
Yo,
you're
checks in the mail, old man.
I know. the man who didn't answer the question is in the lead.
he did answer the question. We came up with
He
an
answered the question.
I gotta say, as a unbiased opinion on this whole situation, Duke gave the best answer out of all three.
I dare one of y'all to name the best album of 2018 before 2018
ends. Top
ends.
to bottom answer to your question. And Javi said there's 11 albums I haven't even listened to, which means he doesn't even have an answer to the question.
So can I ask you a question, Duke?
Right?
So I just want to know how this.
No. Stop. No side conversation until the next episode. We're going to the next. We're going to the next topic.
Yo, why are you trying to be professional? God damn it! All right.
So the one day he chooses to play by the fucking rules.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Yep, he doesn't like it.
I am the consummate professional. You've never heard me in any way, shape, or form being anything except professional
On this episode.
Past 5
So you get the fuck out of here with that shit.
And I'm not saying this for any particular reason.
for the past 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
I'm
Get it
not saying
right.
this for any particular reason, but you're the best moderator I've ever had the experience
Thank you, sir. I
to
appreciate
be moderated by.
I appreciate you. Points for you.
No
Points for you.
Thank you.
Points for you.
Dude, can you pass him another napkin? He's got some shit in his beard. It's dripping down his chin.
That's that anything he drinks that we talking about.
All right, so I'm gonna direct this. Same thing. I'm gonna go with Duke going first. Are people using the black card too often?
Man, why'd you come to me first?
Oh, that can I? I wanted to ask you for clarification on that. Are you saying people are throwing the race card too often, or are you saying people are pulling black cards from black people?
No. The race card. Are people?
Yo, my credit isn't good enough for a black card. So, is that not what we're talking about?
That's a good one.
You got to.
Yeah. Are people pulling the race card too often?
Fair enough.
That's a better answer to that.
So it's an interesting question because anytime somebody accuses you of using the race card or the black card, which, you know, they're basically brother and sister, right?
Can you define what the black card is again? Like exactly what it is?
When you have a certain amount of financial assets, American Express will give you a card.
Exactly. And I can't spend $100,000 a year. Like, that's impossible. I'm sorry.
Old man, since you were asking the question, can you define what the black card or the race card is?
The race card. So
are they the same thing?
In this case,
no. I should have used better clarification.
Okay.
The black card is something that people quote unquote use when you're not black enough. So I shouldn't say the black card.
Oh.
The race card. What I mean by the race card is when something happens, regardless of what it is, it's because I'm black. If you show up late 4 times and you get fired, it's because I'm black. Now, if you show up late once and your white counterpart shows up 6 times late and you're the one who gets written up, that would be. Is that an appropriate use of the race card? So are people of color using the race card too often?
I'm completely confused by the question because I thought you were talking in terms of people accusing you
No,
of
do you
using
think
the
people?
quote-unquote race card.
Do you think people are blaming things that happen to them on racism too much?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So
Points for you, Fletcher.
it doesn't.
Negative points for Duke for not getting the question right.
And how many points do you get subtracted for not asking the question
I know,
in
you
a
keep
concise
asking the
manner,
question that
Mr.
didn't
Consummate
make sense.
Professional?
It was so ambiguous. Well,
I'm gonna lead, so I'm saying nothing.
here's
Minus points for bringing that up.
God damn it!
nice. No. So that's my short answer to that question. I think anytime somebody accuses you of using the black card, what they're essentially saying is don't point out racism. We want to suppress you identifying racism because we're sick and tired of, again, in the modern day, where people feel empowered enough to talk about the fact that, hey, you're being racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For so long, you couldn't do that. People long for the days where you could be a racist and no one would be, quote unquote, too sensitive to call you out on your bullshit. Today, it's not like that. Now people can identify what's wrong. Now, are there going to be people who take advantage of that and try to use that to their advantage? Sure. But overall, no. I think that it's appropriate and it needs to continue because people need to understand when they are wrong. You know what I mean? Do not discriminate against me. Or I'm going to let you know that that's what you're doing. I'm going to identify that. And then I'm going to address it. So, no.
Am I allowed to agree with my?
As long as you make a valid point. Minus points for asking.
Oh yeah, well, you know, sorry.
Ain't nobody going to win.
Yeah, minus .000001
Old man is going to win.
That's not a bad idea. I'll keep the prize.
Yeah, right.
And I think too, like, you know, recently, like, people have a better understanding of, like, American history. We've been more, like you said, accepting of the realities that we live in. And I think it's almost impossible to be educated about our history, about society, and, like, not include race as a component to almost everything. And I know it's going to be annoying to people, even black people sometimes get annoyed with that. But, yo, we didn't build this country.
we didn't create the race problem.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't invent the concept of race.
We just persevered in spite of it.
Okay, now I hate you again. Right? Is that how it goes? Okay,
Thank
good.
you. Now I feel normal.
Fleshmo.
Alright, so I think what we're experiencing is not that people are doing it too much. It's much like the issue of police brutality. It's being recorded and reported more. There was no social media 30 years ago. There was word of mouth. Like, you know, a cousin or an uncle might have told you a story about something that happened to them back in the day. Now, you go on Instagram and you can type in a hashtag and find anything. Same with Twitter and probably on Facebook too. So I don't think that it's being done too much. I do think there's people that abuse it because I think we've all worked with people who were shit at their job, and when they got let go, no, you just fired me because I'm black. No, you suck at your job. And that is a tough pill for some people to swallow because nobody likes to think they're shit at their job. But I wouldn't say that there's been a huge uptick in instances other than with the current administration. People have seemed to become more bold in their racist comments, and when they're getting called out for it, then it's a lot of boo-hooing and, oh, I can't believe it, you know, someone would be like this. Most recently, Kevin Hart. He got the job to be the host of the Oscars. Somebody went traveling through his tweets, found something that was homophobic from, I'm guessing, years ago, because I haven't even really looked into this. And all of a sudden, he's stepping down, apologizing. Like we have this this atmosphere right now that is just, we want blood, we want this person gone now. And there's no looking back to see, like, has this person grown? And I think the comments was it Tracy Morgan? He went through this before too, because he said something to the effect
He would kill his
son if he was gay.
Yeah.
Will he come back from this? Will Kevin Hart come back from this? Absolutely. He's money in Hollywood right now, and he was apologetic, and he fired himself.
Well, there was also a report came out yesterday that he was let go. He quit because he didn't want to apologize for what he said.
He didn't want to apologize again
for what he said.
Because, in his opinion, he apologized years ago, and that should be enough. But I want to piggyback on your comment because this is topical and what have you. he used the word "I've evolved." Right? That's what he said. I've evolved.
Yeah.
My question is, where's your evolution? Don't tell me you evolved on something. Show me. Show me your wares. And he hasn't done that yet. And I'm not going to take his word for that. So if you can be so bold to say that you would assault your child for playing with a dollhouse because that's gay, or you could say my kid needs to stop acting gay. And I'm not talking about within his performance as a comedian, although I don't think that's funny anyway. These are comments he just made. You know, so let's get that straight too. People saying, well, he's a comedian. No, he wasn't being funny. Where's the punchline? My point is, okay, I don't know if
it's Kevin Hart. He doesn't do a lot of punchlines, by the way. So
good point.
Yep.
Just show me your evolution. Show me what you've done that we can say, okay, there's the change in the past 10 years. Did you march in the LGBTQ pride parade? Did you get with folks from that community and explain your position, hear from them, and then work together to try to quote unquote evolve? Did you donate money to a cause? Have you spoken to other people about changing their views on this issue, because discrimination of any kind is not right and hatred of any kind? None of that he's presented. So how am I supposed to believe you? Because you said I'm sorry? Well, I don't care about you sorry. Show me your wares.
That's fair.
Good point, both of you guys. I think that at first I was with the opinion that he already apologized. He shouldn't have to apologize again, right? That was my knee-jerk initial reaction. But there's a reason why I don't really vocalize my opinion on these things till I give myself time, read a couple more articles about it, listen to the person's
Actually
reaction.
do the research.
Exactly. And this didn't really develop from the research, just developed more from time. I'm thinking to myself, if somebody insulted an entire group of people, right, got caught, apologized, right, 10 years later, that same person applies for a job. That boss, the hiring manager goes like, you know, we heard that you insulted this group of people. That person, one's going to say, I did, and I apologized at that time. I would not be surprised. Actually, I would want this person, I would hope this person would also then say, but I'm still sorry. Right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think, with that said, Kevin Hart, he took away an opportunity, right, that I think would have been great for him. Just because he was stubborn and didn't want to apologize a second time.
And then apologized in the end anyway.
Yeah, because he thought about it for 10 minutes.
Because I'm losing money.
Exactly.
Right? Because
Exactly.
my whole empire is about to go down. I better just do it.
Okay. And there's definitely an effort from people that initially were against these types of outings. Like, right? So a lot of people that would be associated, I guess, I don't think that's necessarily true, with the right, were seen as being unfairly punished for things that they said in the past. So there's a whole movement on the right, like, you know,
balance the scale.
To balance the scale. So they're looking for everything right now. You know, I say some pretty bad stuff about Taylor Swift. You know, I say that, you know, I didn't really enjoy her singing on Twitter, so I'm gonna have to.
1989 is a dope album. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
Yo, I didn't like her. Yo, till 1989, and I was like, yo, that's pretty dope.
To be fair, though, I feel there is a gross imbalance in how these things are looked at. You have Harvey Weinstein, who has allegedly raped or used sexual favors as a means to, you know, further someone's career. He did something to someone. Now, Kevin Hart said something. And words can be very hurtful. It can make somebody, you know, it can really affect somebody. But he didn't go outside, grab a gay person, and kill them. Like, there is a difference. Like, somebody can say something messed up and move and grow from that, but they're treating him as like he has, you know, he goes out and hangs somebody who's different from him, you know, on the weekends. That's just what he does. Like, it's you got to quantify it. And like you said, it's been 10 years. People grow. Most people who are healthy adults grow constantly. And
show me.
Yeah.
It still comes back to that.
No, you're right. I agree with you. You're right.
Is,
there's been nothing.
That's a fact. Then just show me. Just give me some examples of what you've done.
But there's people out there who don't like to show off. Like,
Kevin Hart doesn't like to show off?
No,
that's his bread and butter. Like, you better show off.
Fair enough.
But
Being
we're
a
talking
stand-up
about Kevin Hart.
comedian is
Don't talk about nobody else. We're talking about Kevin Hart.
I'm not talking about Kevin Hart. I'm not talking about somebody else. What I'm saying is there are some people who are ashamed of what they've done and may be doing things to make up for that. But if Kevin Hart was to be parading around like, hey, I'm in a gay pride parade. I love gay people. Hey, I'm doing this. But he still has the same thoughts and views. That's not showing you some growth. That's him pandering to keep a certain base of his fans.
Well, allow me to give an example of something that
Hillary
happened.
Clinton going on the Breakfast Club.
Yo, I'm so tired of people.
Let me get this. I
Go
want to give a perfect example of someone different between pandering and someone who isn't. And this is just something you guys can all think about. Stephen Amell, big supporter of the LGBTQ community, as is Finn Balor. They both, in their individual ways, did something to show their support.
Are these wrestlers?
Stephen Amell's Arrow.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Finn Balor is a wrestler.
Finn Balor is a wrestler.
But he's a wrestler too now. He has wrestled a couple
Oh
times.
yeah, that is right. That's true. Good catch on that point for you, Hoppy.
Duke pointed out he's been a wrestler too.
Did you notice that?
I see this. I see it. I got you. We're gonna watch
You know what?
this.
Minus 5 points for snitching.
Fucking take 10. I don't give a shit. I'll lose this fucker right now. Tell me what the prize is. I'll buy it.
Actually, it's a plus 10 point for calling me out.
Yeah, that's better.
It's a weird point scale, but Stephen Amell.
Yo, I paid for
It's
this.
not so
Okay?
much
I know, right?
scale as a
I'm trying to get my money's worth. Y'all shut up.
That's right.
But like Stephen Amell is a big he supports it. Like, and it's funny because he I think the last few years he's actually been at the Gay Pride Parade or the Gay Pride Weekend in Canada, and it's funny because he said something about he had a shirt that says $20 a mouth is a mouth, and it's someone who was walking in the parade who happened to be gay came up to him with $20. And he took a picture saying, "Hey, I said it." And Finn Balor during WrestleMania, the supporting the LGBTQ community with the rainbow socks, and brought out I think a bunch of people who actually were also supporters onto the WrestleMania platform as he was the ramp. The ramp come down in support of that. So it's a difference between I think like someone who like Kevin Hart, and it's just because of his personality, it seems pandering because as you said, that's what his whole career is based on, is on him just being larger than what he is. So I don't know. So the question I want to propose to you guys, is there a way now, because of everything that's happened now, that he can actually even support this without sounding like pandering?
Yes.
No.
I don't see anything wrong with a celebrity or a public person, politician pandering. Like, pander. Like, I don't care. I really don't care what you think personally. What I care about is results and how you get to those results. So, Bill Clinton, horrible human being, seems like a horrible husband, right? Seems like he was horrible to women. But he did a lot of good things as president. He did a lot of bad things as president. But we got to separate these things. You know what I'm saying? We got to, you have a job to do. As a celebrity, you have a job to do. You got to have a public face. You have to make money. As a politician, you have a job to do. You have to take what's true and disseminate it to the people, right? And depending on where you are in government, you're either making laws or whatever. You have a job to do. Pander your ass off. I don't give a fuck. Sorry, that's my opinion.
All right, Fletch.
As far as Kevin Hart goes, it's going to be very difficult for him to get out of this in a way like unscathed, because on one hand, there's a lot of homophobia in the black community because there's a lot of black people are Christians, and that goes against Christian beliefs. So if he's to come out and embrace the LGBTQ community, he's going to lose people there. If he comes out and support again, or doesn't say anything, or doesn't go back down on his views or what he said, then he loses not only the LGBTQ community, but those who support it. So he's really in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, where it almost might be best for him in the long run just be quiet and wait for it to blow over, because we live in such a 24-hour news cycle anyway. Something else is going to happen and people will forget all about Kevin Hart, just like people don't talk about Louis C.K. that much anymore, or
Louis C.K. was one of the few that actually
he
handled the shitty situation I guess the best way you possibly can.
Yeah, but he's still getting shit for it because he'll put on.
Because it was funny. He was.
Well, no, I mean as far as
cornering girls and masturbating in front of him. It was hilarious.
Well, as far as
I'm sorry. Did you
just said that's okay, but you know,
you're losing points for that, man.
Well,
I have a daughter.
No.
Explain what he means by
I didn't
it.
say it was okay.
Please tell us why it's okay to corner a woman and masturbate in front of her.
No, I said it's okay to give somebody shit for cornering a woman and masturbating.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You almost lost 4
Fair
points.
enough.
Oh, why the hell?
You almost lost 4 points for
Did you
that.
complete your point on
Kind
Hart?
of kinky.
On Hart?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right,
So,
Duke.
absolutely, he can come back from this, and there's something he can do. Show his evolution. Period. People are going to say you're pandering, what have you, but if he truly evolved, then that's not going to matter to him. He's going to do what he believes in now, right? And if he evolved, then he's going to be able to show it. It's the United States, man. We made Rocky.
But
Comeback story.
And Rocky 4.
Everyone loves the comeback story. And I'm sorry, but
I'm sorry.
if you evolve, if it's genuine, if it's not BS, if that's a fact, if that's who you are today, then it shouldn't matter if people accept your evolution or not. You're going to do it because that's what you believe in now. So show me.
But see, here again lies the problem. Anything he does from this day forward, there is going to be a portion of people that say, "Oh, he's just doing that because he lost the gig."
Who cares?
But that portion of people, their power is not strong enough to matter.
But if they're loud enough, you talk loud enough in a room, people will start to listen, as evidenced by
The people in this room.
the people running the show.
You don't think the LGBTQ and their supporters, you don't think that community is louder than their opposition? I can tell you right now.
The religious right is very. They're
institution. The religious right is
Institutionally,
institutionally powerful. However,
they can be beat.
they don't have the economic leverage anymore that they once had. Like,
True.
trust me, the left, and people that support progressive causes, there's a lot of money backing that nowadays. A lot of corporate money.
Look,
And that's what
the
you
only
know,
way Kevin Hart is going to come out this unscathed is somebody catches him blowing a dude.
Hell no.
I'm telling you, with his
being
and then
genuine.
him changing his ways, that's the only way people are going to be like,
genuine.
okay, yeah, maybe that makes sense. Come on.
Yo,
Now we talking crazy.
Kevin Hart's way too short for us to be dedicating this much time to his.
All right, so we'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on. We can table this for the next
We gotta hate on our
argument.
brothers, man. We all black.
right now in a major turn of events, Duke is actually in the lead. He's up.
I want my money back.
This whole
okay
thing
with
is a
that.
fix.
Duke's in the lead. He's, you know what? Now you're not in the lead for talking shit. now Fletch is in the lead. How you feel about that? How you feel about that? Now
My
Fletch
vote
is.
is for Fletch.
I think this has been run very smoothly.
Oh, now
There might be a couple of bumps in the road,
The
but we're gonna
oppressed
get there.
becomes the oppressor.
This is gonna be a good talk.
pulling the race card. Now Javi's
That's
winning. How do you feel?
What race?
So next.
What fucking
so,
race? Whoa.
No.
Race
What
to
fucking-
punish him.
What fucking race did
I'm
Javi
triggered.
have for?
I'm
I'm
triggered.
triggered,
Fletch.
yeah.
You offended me. I need to say
I'm
something.
unarmed. so
Oh man, you
can't
didn't
say
talk
shit.
about my cool socks, man. I brought the palm trees here.
Oh yeah, well,
Alright.
I got
I do love cool
I
socks.
got the thermal hunting socks that
I
I
saw
wear when
them.
I go out.
I'm wearing
there.
the no socks.
And
Look at that.
You know, speaking of triggered, this is a conversation I could not wait to have. Speaking of triggered, gun violence has been a major thing in America over the past, would you say,
400 years.
400 years. We've had, especially over the last 2 or 3 years, we've had a lot of mass shootings in America. Fletcher, you are a resident gun expert. What are your feelings on the gun laws right now?
You gotta specify state or federal.
Let's go federal.
Federal, there's room for improvement, but it's not going to happen overnight. Most gun owners that I know would not agree with me on this, but I think that federally we should have a uniform law that is similar to Massachusetts in the way they handle things. If I get a gun license in one state, it's legal in another. Right now, it doesn't matter what state you have a gun license in, Massachusetts will not recognize it. And that's a problem, because I can drive in any state. I can go rent a U-Haul or any large vehicle and kill multitudes of people just by fucking around on the highway. So the driving standards are pretty much the same in all the states. So there should be a gun license standard in all the states. But you're not going to get that because people are going to fight it. And there's many reasons for that that we can go into if you want or not. But I don't think people fully understand that the National Firearms Act that's been in place since, I want to say at least 83, prevents the sale of fully automatic weapons to the general public without an extensive licensing process to get a machine gun license, which in itself is...
So people can get machine guns?
Legally, but there's a lot that you have to go through it, and you have to pay a tax stamp on it. And even if you go through all the bullshit, all the multiple they go in your ass background checks. A fully automatic gun, a regular fully automatic gun on just open market,
let him finish
is at least $25,000 to $50,000 each.
Well, I don't want to add or interrupt, but just for the clarification of the audience, because I hear this a lot. Like, people say when these mass shootings happen, the person used a machine gun.
They're full of shit.
It's not a machine.
They're absolutely. Okay, I'll explain that. Okay, it's very simple. There's two types of weapons. There's There's two types of basic modern weapons: automatic and semi-automatic. Mm-hmm. Automatic is you squeeze that trigger once, and it does not stop shooting until you let go of the trigger. It means if you have 30 rounds, you squeeze that trigger once, 30 rounds are going to come out unless you take your finger off. And then there's semi-automatic, which is you squeeze the trigger once, it shoots once. You squeeze the trigger again, it shoots again. There is no other type of mechanisms for firing weapons that would be considered modern. Bolt action is old and played out. Pump action as well. Those designs have been around for hundreds of years. So when these mass shootings occur, and they talk about how deadly and how fast the AR-15 shoots, obviously bump fire stocks and cranks do increase the rate of speed, but it's not as fast.
Don't gloss over that increase.
No, they do increase the rate of speed at which it fires. But mechanically, it still is the gun. Well, the way I can't really show you the listeners, but for the sake of the argument,
don't show it.
Mm-hmm. With a bump, no, stop.
I want to live.
I'm unarmed and I'm drinking. As a responsible gun owner, I know if I'm going to be drinking alcohol, I do not carry a firearm. But the way a bump stock works is it basically uses the recoil of the gun to move the gun back, and then it comes forward to hit your trigger finger again and again and again, and it can do that faster than you could shoot using your hand, because obviously humans are limited to how fast they can move their fingers. But again, it's not very practical. Anybody who's shot a gun knows the faster you shoot, the lower your accuracy is. So if somebody's really wanting to kill the most amount of people, going rapid fire is not usually the best way. I'm not going to sit here and give people ideas on how to commit atrocities, but as a gun owner, I can look at these situations and truly say that it's not the weapon's fault. And that's what a lot of people do. The media is really big on AR-15s. They're the most dangerous guns in the world. No, they're not. A 30-06 will do more damage than any AR-15 any day. The bullet...
That's debatable. I guess we're debating. So.
No, it's not debatable.
Okay.
The damage that a 30-06 bullet does
to an individual
is immensely bigger than a 223, which is literally a 22. You've seen a 22 bullet before. Add .0.
No.
Have you ever seen a 22 long rifle?
I've never seen anything. Don't ask me questions.
Have you ever seen a 22 bullet?
Absolutely.
Add .003 inches to the diameter of that projectile, and that is the standard bullet that comes out of an AR-15.
Yes.
A 30-06, if you have my keys, is much bigger than that. That's a 30 caliber, so it's closer to almost a 9mm.
So I have a question for you. What would do more damage to a crowd, say 100 deep?
You're talking about a crowd of people close together?
A AR-15.
Should we even be giving out this information?
I don't.
No, this is. I mean, we live in America. This shit happens once a week.
All right,
I don't want this.
First of all, it doesn't happen once a week.
And I'm asking this for a reason.
Okay, in my opinion, I am not an official.
Hold on. The Old Man Way Show does not support any gun violence.
No,
Go ahead.
and I'm not either. But I'm
Please ask
I
the
hear
question
this,
so I can know exactly what it
because
is.
I hear this argument like, you know, you guys are worried about the AR. You guys should be worried about the handguns, and I agree, because handguns kill more people, right? Because those are the weapons they use.
They're
in the
easily
city,
accessible.
in places where people are
They're
getting
easily
killed.
concealed.
They're easily concealed. But you brought up mass shootings, right?
Mhm.
Nobody's doing a mass shooting, really. The ones at the scale that we've been seeing regularly with a handgun.
Virginia
Before
Tech
getting
has the highest body count of any mass shooting, except for maybe the one in Florida at the nightclub. But
All right.
Virginia Tech, he used a Glock handgun, and all he did was reload.
I believe it wasn't fully automatic.
No,
it wasn't an automatic.
it doesn't. If it was fully automatic, he would have put more bullets into the wall than he would people. I'm telling you, as somebody who shoots.
All right, so Virginia Tech, the outlier, but a lot of the times when we hear these things, we do hear about AR-15s. In Vegas shooting was this dude had an arsenal with the bump stocks, right?
Yep.
And he was about a mile away or whatever, right? He
No,
was like
he
not a
wasn't.
mile. He was pretty far away.
Hold on.
Because we're getting a little
Yeah,
off topic.
getting a little off topic. Duke, what are your opinions on the topic itself and what's been said?
I think what's been said just kind of completely veered off the topic.
It did.
We start talking about mass shootings and all this other nonsense. We're talking about the law.
But it does. But it goes into
So,
that though. And if I will let you talk, because when a lot of people start talking about we need to change the laws, they say ban the AR-15, ban the AK variants, and semi-automatic rifles are the problem. I have a semi-automatic rifle at my house that shoots 22s, and it is meant for varmint shooting and target shooting. But when you say ban semi-automatic, that includes that. So there's a lot of problems with the language that the people use when they talk about changing the laws. And as a gun owner, that's what I have a problem with. But I'll let you finish, and then we'll come back to it, because I don't want to eat your time.
So let me start with the fact that I'm not a gun owner. I've never shot a real gun, and probably won't unless the aliens come or something like that.
We can set something up. I'm a member at a range in Holbrook. I will teach you how to be safe, and Mark can attest.
Pretty safe guy.
It's funny. Fletcher calls me Blinky because I need glasses and I can't see worth a damn. And my first time I shot, horrible shot. Next time around, when he showed me again, I'm an amazing shot.
That's awesome.
So when the zombies come,
but
you come to my house.
just not my thing. Full disclosure, I come from a law enforcement family, both my parents. So guns have always been in my household. And respecting firearms and what they can do and why they matter and when to use them, all of that discussion has always been around my life. So I have a healthy respect, understanding, and quite frankly, I'm not going to say fear, but respect is a proper word.
You respect the danger that's involved.
Exactly. I understand what it entails. I've also worked on legislation for a good portion of my life, both on state, municipal, actually in federal level as well, as it relates to this issue. And just to go a little deeper, doing constituent services, I've been at the hospitals at 3 a.m, watching a family break down because their loved one has succumbed to gun violence. I've been in situations where I've had to assist young people in relocating because of the threat of gun violence. So my perspective on this whole thing is coming from all of those different angles. Personally, from a family perspective, and professionally. I can tell you right now, Massachusetts has some of the best gun laws in the country. And in a perfect world, the entire nation would utilize our gun laws. But that's not realistic. The needs in Alaska, for example, are completely different than the needs here in Massachusetts. In Alaska, you need a gun because you're dealing with the type of wildlife that is a threat to your safety. And there's not much law enforcement. No one's there to help you.
There's no help.
And they're not going to get there to help you anytime soon either. So I understand why their gun laws have to be the way that they are. Why New Hampshire and Vermont, similar thing. Why their gun laws have to be a little different as well. Though I think New Hampshire has some strict gun laws as well.
No, New Hampshire and Vermont are actually some of the freest in the country.
It's Maine. Is it Maine that has?
Nope, Maine actually just made it easier. You can drive around with a firearm on your front seat as long as it is unloaded.
But again, they're dealing with different needs in those places.
Yes and no. Have you noticed the amount of coyotes running around in the cities?
We repopulated.
Oh my God!
But there's a reason.
No.
We have animal control.
But there's a reason for that. I know. Thank you for that. But
Okay.
the reason why we have more
You
coyotes.
out here hunting coyotes in Boston?
First of
Yeah.
all, they're
That's
protected.
crazy.
First of all, they're protected.
Coyotes are not protected. There's open season on them pretty much most of the year.
I don't know about that. I
I can tell you about that as a hunter. I can tell you coyotes are not protected.
So we're either
Wolves are
editing this
protected.
out.
When we repopulated the Commonwealth with turkeys and other types of wild game, we understood what that was going to entail in terms of those who feast on them. But that's a whole other issue.
But
here's my point. My approach to gun laws centers around the person. Okay?
Fair enough.
What type of medication are you on?
Mm-hmm.
What is your history from a criminal standpoint? You know,
But that's already taken into account.
What kind of violent crimes have you committed and what have you? And then we get into the whole aspect of the majority of gun crimes that are committed in most inner cities in the nation. Those guns are being purchased in places where you have gun laws that are more lax. So we start talking about straw purchases and things of that nature. That's what I care about. And that's what I want to continue to work towards combating and what have you. This whole notion that the average citizen should have an automatic machine gun or whatever the hell we're talking about here. Excuse me. I don't necessarily agree with that. And I understand that we have a constitutional right to bear arms, but if the government wants to drop a bomb on us today, whatever gun you can think of is not going to save you from that. So I think we have a false sense of security with this whole right to bear arms nonsense. Because it is nonsense if that's what the argument is, in case the government tries to revolt against us or something silly like that. So I say all that to say, I feel that the laws can do a better job of dealing with the individual. And you said it yourself that there's room for improvement. There's certainly is, because there's a lot of, I'm not going to say crazy people, but disturbed people who have access to firearms, especially, and I hate to say this because I'm friends with a lot of folks in the armed forces, but people who are dealing with significant PTSD, I don't know if I necessarily want to be arming them. And I just pissed off a whole segment of my fan base, and I don't really, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? When you're on certain types of medication and you're dealing with certain types of issues, I'm not necessarily comfortable with you having a firearm to walk freely and do whatever the hell you want. You want to go to a gun club and shoot? Fine. But to have it personally, it's a different story. So I fall on that side of the fence where I feel that the individual, I think we need to police that a little bit more efficiently than what we have been doing as a nation.
Well, me and Fletcher have had this conversation about, I suffer with mental health issues. So I know, me personally, I shouldn't have a gun. It's not a fear of what I'll do to the next person. It's fear of what I'll do to myself. So as a person who has these issues, I know I should have a gun. Me and Fletcher have had this conversation.
Listen, I respect the hell out of you for saying that.
So it's just one of those things. And like, if someone goes, "Oh, you'll be fine," I'm like,
How would
no.
tell you?
If you say you shouldn't have it, you shouldn't have it.
So Fletcher, you were like shaking. You had something.
Fletch, let me just say this. I respect the fact that you are a person who is more educated on the topic in terms of from a gun perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just understand that from a legislative perspective, I don't know. We might be on the same grounds here.
I think we probably agree more than we disagree. Just to go back to things you touched on, if you are convicted of a felony, violent or not, you are disqualified from firearm ownership. Every time you purchase a gun at a licensed firearms dealer, you are background checked. They call the FBI and see if you have any outstanding warrants or if you have a felony passed. So a lot of people think that there's no background checks when you buy a gun. When you buy from a licensed dealer, yes, you are. In the state of Massachusetts, if I'm going to sell a gun to anybody else, they have to have a valid license. I know. I'm just saying.
You have the strictest gun laws.
California is and Connecticut.
So
we're pretty close. California,
we're top three.
Okay.
We're top three.
Okay, so bad example.
So you guys telling me never mind.
Detroit has
shitty.
Shitty from your perspective.
Again, you have to.
The argument for the strictest gun laws
Massachusetts is a
in the nation.
For me, one of the areas where they do it somewhat right. there's other shit we can get into off that I don't like. As far as what people are taking for medication, I agree with you. Like a lot of these mass shooters, I believe a handful of them were on SSRIs. So clearly they're dealing with some kind of mental illness, no matter what it is. Yeah, that should disqualify you from being a gun owner because there are side effects to these medications. Everyone reacts to them differently. I know someone who's on them and it works great for him, and that's awesome. But 10 other people could take that and they go left turn. That's why when you see all these commercials, they say side effect, suicidal thoughts. It happens.
So you probably should have a gun.
Who?
If
that person doesn't have it. Yeah, if you're
Just
honestly,
you
you need to be honest with yourself. Like, it's a very you can't when you say legislative, both sides have almost an all or nothing approach. I disagree with the gun owners that say, "Oh, we should have everything," because yeah, you're right. If the United States government deployed troops and started, laying siege on all of Massachusetts,
they have machine guns.
Owners, the gun owners are not going to be able to stop them.
Didn't win that round.
They're not going to win.
No.
And then, but you have people who are gun owners who feel, well, I should be able to have that too. If the government can have it, I should have it. I don't agree with you on that. I do not see the reasonable need for someone to own a fully automatic gun. I could, if I wanted to, go through the process, get my machine gun license, and save up for many years and hope to buy one. But it's not something that's in me. There are some people who that's all they want to do. And there's people who will move into states where they can do that easier because that's what they want to do. At the end of the day, you can't legislate how people act. Murder has been illegal since the beginning of this country. When there's a mass shooting, that is what's happening. Someone is murdering people. And there is no difference in murder if it's done with a gun, a knife, a bomb, arson. It doesn't matter. Murder is murder.
What does that do with the law?
Just gonna wrap
but that's what I'm saying.
We gotta wrap up this particular topic.
Okay, you can change the laws. You can ban anything you want. People find a way. Marijuana has been federally illegal for decades.
But before we get
that's what I'm saying. When it comes to legislation,
You're running.
If people no, I'm not
You're
running.
running.
How am I running?
Hold on.
I'll stand right here.
You're running.
You
don't want to talk about the law. You want to dance around all this other nonsense.
Okay,
hold on. Tell me. Hobby, go ahead.
Because this is the reason why I there's very few things I try to avoid actively. That's talking about Israel and Palestine, and that's guns, right?
Especially what reason. You've heard me. I am not going to have this conversation. This is the reason why, because this really is no.
Well, the reason why I don't. The reason why I don't is because it often devolves into like the type of argument. Not devolve. I don't want negative connotation. Turns into this discussion, right? You have one person, Fletch. You're pro-gun, and you believe in personal responsibility. People should have the right to use a gun because we're
not everybody. I don't believe everybody.
Not everybody. Exactly, right? And you're looking at it at a national level, right? And then you have people like Duke here that look at the individual toll, right? I hate talking about mass shootings because in certain communities we have those types of death tolls from guns on a weekly basis,
and
right?
It's not right
on a weekly basis, right? And here's the thing, like I grew up in a neighborhood, right, that was affected by that type of shit.
I did too.
Right?
Same here.
Right? We all have, right?
Romance.
Okay, all right. And so here's the thing, Duke, you made a point that I've been trying to get in people's heads for years now, right? Guns aren't made in the inner city, right? Guns aren't really bought in the inner city because inner cities have strong gun laws, right? Mm-hmm. And then people that are pro-gun would be like, whoa, look at the places with the strongest gun laws. Those places have the worst violence, worst gun crimes, right? But people that I know that were shot dead, right? People that I know that are in prison right now are involved. They're in those situations because of guns that were purchased by that individual, somebody like that individual.
Right,
Did you say the name with the gun on their thing, right?
Yeah.
The auction. Is the straw purchases like the auctions or whatever they have? Right?
Oh no, well, straw purchases.
Like you said, and I think it's kind of disingenuous, right? When people that are supporting the gun, supporting the right to bear arms, say that no matter what, you're gonna get a background check. There's laws that protect the wrong people from getting the guns. That's not true at all. You know what I'm saying?
Lawfully.
You can
Lawfully.
did you know you can buy a core of legally? You can buy the core of an AR-15,
Okay.
right, and build it in a state
Yeah,
where
and
it's illegal, and that shit's illegal.
It's legal
Right.
to manufacture a firearm for personal use, but it can't leave your dwelling. And in Massachusetts, it is illegal to register because they're not because of the current attorney general.
So, and this is my thing, and I'm gonna be really quick. This is just it, and just like all these little gray areas, all these little like each laws are different for states, whatever, right? I hate like according to the Constitution, right? One law in one state should apply to everybody in every state, right? Guns are a little bit different. It's a
Right,
gray
yeah.
area, right? But that's the issue. I think there needs to be a law that's consistent across states, right?
I
But nobody's willing to do that.
was your point earlier.
We all agree that
Yeah.
there should be a uniformity in how these laws are approached and enforced. But I have to tell.
Let's just leave it at that.
No,
because
can I just say one
we have to move on because
listen to his point and then I'll drop it.
You're not used to dropping anything.
Just
Let's call it like it is, man. You know,
can I
don't
just
drop
say this
shit.
one thing? Because you said
Case in point.
you brought up straw purchases, and you're absolutely right. Well, first of all, straw purchases are illegal, so that person who's doing that is breaking the law. The person who is purchasing that gun illegally is breaking the law. So how is a gun law supposed to stop someone who's breaking the law from breaking the law?
We'll stop it there.
That's my
We'll
point.
stop it there.
Fair enough.
So, all right. So right now, I'm in the lead. So,
Excellent.
As is tradition.
why should I? So we got about another like 9 or 10 minutes for. Well, we got a little bit more time. We've been doing this for a while. So,
Sorry.
we'll go with a. You guys want to go with a passing POTUS conversation or Vince McMahon?
Passing POTUS. I know nothing about wrestling.
All right. So I think this was. I'm not sure who brought this question up, but how long should we provide grace to a POTUS after death? Some people have asked when we can start talking about all the negatives of the Bush presidency again.
When we can start talking about all the negatives?
Yes.
When it's socially acceptable to start pointing out flaws. The whole no talking ill of the dead.
Normally I'd give it to the pinnacle of political perfection.
Yeah.
Actually, no. You're the only person who hasn't.
You
haven't started yet, so you start off with this.
I think day of, we should start talking about their impact. And if we're talking about their impact,
Good word here. Their impact as opposed to just the negative or the positive.
because I think we talked about this earlier, me, Old Man, and Duke, about my feelings about people in public service, right? Their job doesn't just affect them and their families, right? Their jobs, especially the president. I'm assuming we're talking about George H.W. Bush here, right? He
Yes.
wasn't just the president, right? He was vice president, right? He was head of the CIA, State Department. Like, he did a lot, right? And he was active. He was most active in the 70s and 80s, where a lot of shit that we're dealing with today,
For
was kinda
example,
set up. Tough on crime laws, the war on drugs, racist dog whistles that kind of created a super entrenched far racist right? A lot of things that again, the dysfunctional Congress and government, laws not getting passed, like a lot of that was nurtured during that time period, right? And George H.W. Bush, great politician by the numbers, but the way he was able to forget about his own personal ethics and become cold and do what's needed to be done to become president, to get that power, did a lot to hurt our community in particular, the gay community in particular, immigrants in particular. So yeah, but he helped end the Cold War, so I guess that's a good thing.
Duke, is there a time period on that, or when you can start like bringing up all the negative things that a president of the United States that has passed has done?
I mean, I think it's an interesting question because it comes back to your own personal ethics and beliefs. Personally, I don't celebrate anybody's death, right? And I've been to a lot of funerals in my life, which is really a strange thing, but especially working in municipal government, where I worked for an elected official who felt that it was his duty when somebody in the district or somebody who he had done work with passed away, we got to go to the funeral and pay respects on behalf of the municipality. We have to honor this person. And I feel that way personally too. I'm not going to pick from the moment you die to the moment you're in the ground to start detailing all the negative things you've done in your life. Because I got a whole rest of my life to do that to you. Personally, I feel like that period is a period for just to say, hey, rest in peace, and whatever you've done in your life, you're going to have to answer to that, and there's a higher power that will deal with that. It's not necessarily my duty to hammer that point home right now. I don't care who you could be the devil himself. You know what I mean? I just don't feel that, for me personally, it doesn't feel right to talk about all the negative things that person did from the moment they died to the moment they're in the grave. I think let's provide some grace to the people who are actually mourning that death. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be plenty of time to rehash all the other things. And, you know, George Herbert Walker Bush has probably been the most influential.
Herbert?
Yeah.
That name is trash.
That's why I say HW.
Herbert's trash. That name is trash.
He's probably been the most influential elected official of my lifetime.
That's
right?
facts.
Yeah.
So what has happened to all the communities that I consider my community, you know what I mean? All the people who I care about from a negative standpoint, he's had some impact on them. So I have plenty of reason, like Javi just said, to want to talk about all the negative things this man did, but it's time for that. And right now, until he's in the ground, I don't need to do that. Because what am I accomplishing? Who am I talking to?
You're just hurting.
I'm just hurting the people who love him for the sake of hurting the people who love him. Because my point is not going to be any more or less valid 2 days after he's in the grave or the day after he's in the grave. So why do I need to make that point now?
I almost feel though is that should apply to anybody though, not just the public figure. Like,
Sure, I was thinking that as well.
Human decency. Like, I may not care for, George Bush, but I'm not gonna go to his funeral and start yelling out terrible things in front of his great grandchildren. That's a dick move, and it doesn't need to be done. And at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit what I think. So why am I? I'm not gonna go out of my way to people who don't care. We had a little. I made a comment when in the group chat about it, and that is how I feel. But I'm not going to disrespect another family when they're mourning, because I would be upset if somebody disrespected my family while they were mourning me or anybody else in my family. It's, grow up in a way.
I don't think we even need to go any more than that. I think all you guys eloquently posted that. So you guys want to talk about being a black Republican, or you want to bring up Vince McMahon?
Again, I don't know anything about wrestling, so I don't
stick to the ball.
I can listen to y'all talk about this, man.
But you have opinions on him in general as a man.
I mean,
though.
his politics, and maybe I respect what he did with the now WWE. As you know, I'm used to calling it WWF. That's where I'm from. But yeah. What's up to y'all?
It's still a WWF to me.
All right, so we'll annex that one, and we'll finish off with: is there anything wrong with being a black Republican? Who wants to start this one?
No, I started the last one.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
No, there isn't. I'm not a black Republican. I'm completely.
Allegedly.
No, I'm unregistered. I have no political affiliation. I do have some right-leaning ideologies about the government. I also have a lot of left-leaning ones.
So you do have political affiliation?
No.
They're just mixed.
Just like me.
Yeah.
There is not a problem with a black person that wants to be a Republican or sees that way. There's a common thought in this country that you have to be a Democrat if you're black. You don't have to be anything besides yourself. If that's how you feel, that's what you think, I don't have to agree with you, but you go right on ahead. There are black people for Trump. Guess what? That's their psychosis. And it's not to say that black Republicans are crazy or not. It's, again, just because we don't see the eye to eye politically doesn't mean that you're wrong for how you feel. If that's your truth, live your truth. But I think it's very I think it slows down progress when with this tribalism that we've all developed, that black people and the LGBTQ community have to be Democrat, or redneck Christians are Republican. That's why our political process is so crap right now. Everybody's so busy about, well, I want my side to win. Well, I want my side to win. Nothing's getting done. Because, at the end of the day, you and I, we don't agree on certain subjects, but we have a common ground. And I'll listen to you and I hear your points, just like you're listening to me and hear my points. And that's how it should be. People should be able to have a discussion. So, to me, political affiliation should not be dependent on race. And if you choose to be a democratic socialist and you're Asian, or you're of Chinese descent, does that mean you're going against your ancestors because China is communist? It's ridiculous that we crucify people for their affiliation instead of, let them speak and see what they have to say.
Supa Woke. I'm Supa Woke. Sorry, Duke.
I'm a product of the Great Gang Resistance Education and Training. Like literally,
I went through that too.
See, so you know what I'm talking about. Then.
I don't know what that is.
It was
Charles H. Taylor School.
It was a group run by police departments where they would teach you about gangs and the dangers of gang mentality and what can happen if you feed into that too much. I say that to say that political affiliation is nothing more than picking sides of what gang you want to be part of. You know what I mean? You have a leadership that is directing you one way or the other. Meanwhile, their personal interests may not necessarily be what they're telling you they are. You know what I mean? And working in government where you get to see behind the scenes of what's really going on, there are no political parties, man. There aren't. There are special interests, period.
Yeah.
So I vote my special interests. I vote how I feel it makes sense. I vote for the Republican governor, but I might vote for the Democrat mayor. You know what I mean? It just, I don't think there's a problem with anyone being whatever they want to be, regardless of race. Me personally, I just don't believe in the political party system. I think it's ridiculous.
Thank you.
It's just gang mentality. It's Bloods and Crips nonsense.
10 points for Duke.
So how am I going to tell this kid on the show?
Minus 10 for you for talking about my point system.
Fuck it. He can take my 10 points. Give him to Duke. I don't give a shit.
But
I already lost this fucker.
I can't tell the kid not to join the gang if I'm over here talking about you got to be a Democrat. That's silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't wear red. You got to be with the blue. Come on, man. What are we talking about right now? So it's that whole mentality that I think is
Oh shit! I never even thought about that.
But that's what it is. It's Bloods and Crips. But it's like it's built just like. And I'm sorry, I'm going to piss off some more people. It's like religion.
It is.
You're separating people. What I believe in is better than what you believe in, and I'm going to heaven and you're going to hell.
But my God is stronger than your
God. Your God
so
is
how can you
real.
tell me my God is not as strong?
Exactly, right? So it's that whole mentality of again, it's gang mentality that I feel like we need to
It's
at some point
tribalism.
wake up from. Exactly.
It's the
That's
Shiites and the Sunnis. Y'all both from Iraq. Cut the shit.
Yeah, your cousins. Give me a break, right? So that's my stance on that. I don't see problem.
At the end of the day, we're all human beings. Like, the racial separation is nothing more than a construct of civilization. So the party system is just another, I can never get these right, a micro or a macrocosm of racial separation. Or it's just another thing to separate people.
All right.
So there's actually.
I actually got to wrap this up because me and the wife got to bounce. So I'm gonna have closing arguments. You guys each get 30 seconds on the topic at hand.
What's the topic at hand?
It's a surprise one. I'm gonna go in alphabetical order, so it's D, F, J. So first, and it's all the same topic. Duke, what are your opinions on Nia Jax?
I think that she's poorly.
All right, your 30 seconds are up. Fletch, what are your opinions on Nia Jax?
I think from what I've seen of her, she has a lot of potential. She's a good athlete. One downside is the whole take my ball and go home thing that she pulled a little while back. But
you read that article I wrote about that? Yes,
I did, and I think that was a poor choice on hers because you're being paid to do a job. Do it, but also at the same time you got to stand up for your beliefs or how you feel. And it's good to see a big woman doing her thing.
All right, Javi, what's your opinion on Nia Jax?
I'm going to tell you, like I told you when I saw a picture of her. Could you just introduce me to her? Goddamn!
All right, thank you everyone for coming. This has been the Old Man Wade Show. I want to thank Duke. Promote what you got, man.
Duke Loves Rasslin. RASSLIN. Duke Loves Rasslin on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You know the deal there.
Tell them about the wrestling crew, which is insanely fun.
That's actually a private group. You
It
can't
is.
be part of the wrestling crew unless you're really a special listener.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky to be a part of it. It's one of the few places I can go to actually be informed on wrestling.
That's
And
my focus group.
that's just what.
Strategic marketing and such.
Fletch, got anything to promote? Any final thoughts? All right, man, you're done.
Yeah.
You lose. You just lost all your points for that one.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll do what I gotta do.
Duke, anything to promote?
You already asked me.
I'm not. Javi, Supa Woke.
oldmanwade.com. Check it out.
That's right, one-stop shop.
It's a place you'll see all the shows, descriptions. We have more on the way. It's going to be awesome.
Writing coming soon, like within a week,
I
right?
can tell you firsthand, they
close.
respond to the people who make comments. They're very quick with their responses. Good quality there.
Yeah, especially when, they have really important things to say. Like Fletcher here. But yeah, check it out. oldmanwade.com. oldmanwade.com.
All right, so you guys want to know the score? The scores?
Yeah.
So Fletcher, unfortunately, you made a lot of good points, but you did a lot of pandering. So you ended
Pandering?
up you did a lot of you ended up with only 10 points.
I just want to say I couldn't add points because I wasn't included in the last topic.
Yeah.
Just want to say.
So there's only you only got 10 points. Duke, you made an insanely amount of great points, and I just want to thank you for coming on the show. So you did an amazing job. Javi,
Yo.
also a lot of amazing points. Even when you didn't have an opinion on it,
Yeah.
you made good observations and could comment on that.
You're my inspiration.
And the winner is
Damn it, Wade.